Give us a second. Okay, I think we're live, but there's always a little lag, so I never know exactly, but let's assume we're live. Hi.
All right. Hi, hello, hello.
So nice to see you. Second. Oh, wait, I know we're live because I can hear myself. Okay. I had to turn it off. Otherwise I get the echo. All right, so thanks for joining. And I love your hat and you look very vibrant today.
Well, thank you. I wish I could say I felt vibrant. It's probably the Gleam. No, we had I'm in Nashville. We had some crazy like thunderstorms in the middle of the night last night that woke everybody up, and so I wasn't able to go back to sleep, but that's what a little Gleam is good for.
You know what? You're right. And this product is insane. And we're going to talk about it because now I feel like I can't let my legs be naked like ever again. It just isn't going to work for me now that I've discovered your secret. So I don't know. Do we want to share the secret with everybody? Because I kind of think it's
I have a lot of people say that all the time, especially in the pro industry, especially like with products like my setting spray that keeps just selling out. I actually had this in my collection for 7 years, but last year it went viral on TikTok and sold out, and all the pros were like, no, but I'm happy to finally be getting it beyond the pro reach.
Yes. And I, as a founder, I'm with you. Like, we need to spread the word, but as a consumer of, I'm a little like, wait a minute, I want to keep this for myself. But let's talk a little bit about your business and how you got started. Cause you obviously are, you're like, you're the shit, man. You're like, you're like the real deal. So if people don't know about you, my God, where have they been hiding? But Melanie is a celeb makeup artist who actually will talk about your move too, because that's interesting too. You were in Hollywood for a really long time, and then
my whole life.
Nashville. Did you grow up? Wait, did you grow up in LA?
Yep, born and raised. I was born in Thousand Oaks and kind of raised, back and forth between like Gardenia, Hermosa Beach, Thousand Oaks, and then I moved with a roommate to actual Hollywood, Beechwood Canyon, right underneath the sign when we were, I think we were only 19. But my grandparents lived in Hollywood too. I come from a very Hollywood family, actually. My great grandfather, Les Thomas, he was really big in the scene when it was transitioning from theater to film, and he did a lot of set design, but he also worked with a lot of the actors and directed a lot of theater, and then became like a talent agent for people like Tyrone Powell is just one of them. He did many, but that era of actors as they were transitioning from theater to the silver screen. And then my great grandma, my Nana, my Sonny Thomas, she worked with Maurice Chevalier and, of the likes in that realm. And so also my grandfather managed a lot of the main theaters like the Pantages and I forget the other one, but he bounced around, and my grandma was working the box office at one of those, and that's how they met. So
cute.
Super cute story. He was originally from England, actually. And then my grandfather, Joe Felix, was a jazz pianist and really heavy in the scene, especially like in Hollywood and Palm Springs. But I mean, he was Eartha Kitt's pianist for years upon years, and I could go on with that. And then his family, he came from actors. And so I just came from this very, Hollywood entertainment, family, but I didn't really think I wanted anything to do with it. I had gone to community college. My mom said, go to community college first, get your AA, and you have to take this humanities class, because she had taken it like a few years prior to me. She went to school later in life. And she said, they do this wonderful trip to Europe. You should do it. So I did. I right out of high school, went to community college, took that class first thing. And I did that first summer trip. And then I ended up doing, I think, like 6 or 7 trips with those guys. There was 3 teachers, and they were amazing. They were so influential to me. And we did all sorts of these fabulous kind of educational trips, but then I would stay on. But my first one was to Italy. And I was like, okay, I'm Italian. I feel like I've literally been here before. And so I started taking a lot of language classes. And I mean, I was taking German, French, Italian, Spanish, all at the same
Oh,
time.
oh,
So
that's crazy.
it
Wow.
was.
Wow.
And I was in the language lab. That's back in the day when we had our language labs. And there was like a paper on the wall, like live and go to school in Italy. And you pull the paper with the number. And I did it. And I did it. And I went with a girlfriend. I talked her girlfriend into it. And we went to the Università di Firenze per Stranieri, which is basically like a foreign school, you know, and I studied language and art. I thought I wanted to do something with the language, like a translator or something. And that was a very, very important moment in my life, because that's where I lived there for a year and met all these other European friends. And so when that trip was done, I was a waitress at Acapulco restaurant, and I'd come home and I had a deal with my manager. I would work like 4 months and just like pile in the money and then go travel for 3 months, just couch surfing with all these friends I had. And on one of those last trips, I was visiting some Icelandic friends in Milan, and one was a model, but she wanted to take some makeup classes. And so she signed up for the school. So I went with her for her to make her final payment or whatever she was doing. And I walked in, and it happened to be the last day of the program. So everybody was doing this big show. And I was like, it literally was just like, wait a minute. One, you can make money doing makeup. And then two, oh my God, this is awesome. Maybe this is a good excuse to get grandma Nana to help me live in Italy again for another year.
That sounds pretty good. But wait, you had no idea about makeup or doing that before you?
I was actually
Talk about serendipity, right?
Very, very, I was actually pretty hippy dippy in a way. I was like kind of a Cali surfer chick, pretty natural, didn't wear much makeup, curly hair, didn't have to do much to it, like lived at the beach most of the time. Boyfriends were always surfers. But in college, we did start to go out to the clubs and party and all of that. And I had an apartment, so all the girls would get together at my house. And that is where I did start to do some makeup on myself and my friends. Also, actually, before that, I was really into like trying to mimic and produce music videos like MTV, and I'd get kids on the block and stuff. And so I was doing makeup then too. So I didn't really think of it at all, though, as a career path or anything. So this literally was like the light bulb that was like, whoa, this is so cool. And I had a girlfriend, Heidi Wilcox. Her father was Larry Wilcox from Chips.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I grew up with them. And my first thought was like, ooh, and maybe Larry can help me get into the business, which she had nothing to do with. But came home, told my Nana about it, thought she'd be so into it. And she was always so supportive. And she, to my surprise, was like, oh no, I don't think this is a good idea at all. And I'm like, why? And she's like, Hollywood is no place for women, which I was just like, wow, but I can now
in her day, right? Like that's probably true.
I mean, honestly, it's still completely unequal, obviously, in all spectrums of everything across this country, but it's still quite unequal in the film business as well. And so I was just like, oh, and like, I don't know, a couple of days later, I'm getting my hair done and I'm telling my hairdresser about it. She goes, I didn't know you wanted to be a makeup artist. I go, neither did I. She goes, you should meet my roommate. She's a union makeup artist. And no joke, a few days later, I meet this girl. And then no joke, a few days after that, she gets a call to intern for free on a film, which she was like beyond that. She said, here's your chance. I'll drive you down there. I was so scared. I go, I've never been to school. I don't have anything professional. She goes, Melanie, they're so desperate for somebody to just help them, with the sweat. It was a summer. I remember it was during the summer, just powder and sweat. And I was like, okay. And she drove me down there. I met the girls. They were like, what's your sign? So I guess Aquarian. Yeah, I guess being an Aquarian got me the job. And that's how it all literally started. They said to me, show up tomorrow before 12 a.m. and bring a makeup tool belt, and we'll, walk you through the rest. And so I went and got a Home Depot tool belt and showed up at that 4 a.m. time, completely not dressed right. I was in like platforms and shorts and this whole 9 yards. And proceeded to work my first probably 17-hour day. And then that's the show. I worked on that show for 6 months for free. While I was on it, I went and they let me leave and go do night classes at this school that's no longer around, called Sunset and Gower Makeup Academy. That was actually right on the Sunset and Gower Makeup Studios. And I took a quick little 6-week course there, met some good friends that are still colleagues and friends to this day from that. And then the hairdresser in particular on that show really took me under her wing. And I guess I just kind of had a natural knack for it. I was thrilled and excited by the business. And then she just started to take me onto all these indie films. She got a film in India. I took over her stuff. And then one of those went union. And it literally just fell in the lap and was really meant to happen. And that's how it all started, which is just nuts.
What an amazing, amazing story. So I'm curious, what was your college major then?
God, what I only went as far as the AA. I don't think I ever really had a major because I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then that's as far as the school went for me. And then the rest has just all been, my career, which I literally just moved from Hollywood to Nashville. But before we do all that, I'll jump into how I started this makeup line.
Yes.
So I got the opportunity to run Dancing with the Stars. And so when I first walked into that show, I couldn't believe the sunless tanning situation. I was literally shocked. It was, these girls, pro dancers at the time, in order to stand out when you're doing pro dancing, you are usually in these groups of 100 couples and you're dancing away and you're trying to get the judges to notice you. So everything they're doing is extreme. Their hair color, their makeup, their outfits, their tan, they're really, really, really into tanning. And because it made them look more toned and they're barely wearing any clothing, so these girls, because they traveled the world with these dance, things, had products from all around the world. I had never even heard of sunless tanning before. This was, I think, 2005. And I really honestly had no clue about it, really hadn't heard about it. So I had to wrap my head around it. I worked with a company at the time called California Tan that really taught me all about it. And then really I was just trying to appease the dancers, but at the same time, I was kind of mortified because they were overly tan, streaky, crazy, floating kind of whiteheads. So the body makeup department on that show really became the bane of my existence because you're also then dealing with wardrobe. These are one of a kind, made right there, outfits, and then the producers. And that was the challenge. I will tell you, the show was challenging on so many levels. I think I was only 30 or 20. No, I think I was 28 when I started that show. And that was a big shock to the community because this young, woman comes in and takes over one of the, hottest large live television shows of the time. And then on top of that, that was the day when we really had the big A-list celebrities coming on who are used to being lit all just for themselves.
Perfect, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They're just used to that perfect lighting for them all day long, every angle. This now is HD, which is like a hideous format, in my opinion.
It's so tough, right? You see people's pores. It's like,
oh, we just don't need it. We just don't need to see all that. So we entered the world of HD on top of this overhead insane multicolor lighting that isn't necessarily lit just for one person. So it was challenging working with the actors and actresses to kind of overcome that and understand that. But also makeup, we were just coming out of those late 90s, early 2000s where makeup was, I like to always kind of refer to friends, very minimal. You might get a red lip. You might get, lashes were like Demi Wispies were the big thing then. And the rest was pretty much individuals. It was very minimal makeup. And especially with the women of age, they were always told, no shimmer, no glitter, it makes you look older, no color. So I had to really work with these women. That was one of the challenging things, was going big with their makeup and really trying to make statements. And then having them understand the sunless tanning and the body makeup. And usually by show 3 or 4, these ladies are like, more rhinestones, more, so it was totally fun. But I was definitely struggling in the body makeup department, and out of frustration, I just started mixing my own concoction, which ended up being called Gleam Face and Body Radiance. Mm-hmm. And it started off with 4 shades, one of which no longer exists: light gold, rose gold, bronze gold, and deep gold. I started off with the darker shades because, of course, it was really all about the tan on that show. And I needed to even out the tans that were going on or make them tanner. The rose gold was a very multi-purpose color, even if for the ladies that didn't want to be so tan. So I started off with those, but then added to the collection the lighter shades of opalescence, disco gold, and peach deluxe, which is the one you were holding up that really has become one of the best sellers. Yeah, it's such a great shade. So it's unique because, and just real quick, so as I was, mixing, this was like a year in the trailer, I finally kind of hit the mark, and the pro dancers themselves were like, Melanie, you did it, I'm gleaming. And so that's how the name Gleam started.
Yeah,
look at that.
It's really amazing. It really does exactly that. It just gives you a little shimmer. And what I like about this is it doesn't look like you're wearing makeup. It really does. It's subtle, but it makes your skin look so much better. It really does. It's crazy.
So I put on the tiniest amount. Yeah. And what's cool is it's a moisturizer, so it's hydrating, but it dries to a soft, dry, touchable finish. It's transfer resistant. There is glow to it, but I like to refer to it as a sophisticated glow. But it's also makeup. It's also got enough pigment in it to even out discoloration, small varicose veins, stretch marks. It really does create just like a flawless, healthy, gorgeous looking skin tone. All 6 shades work on every single skin tone. I do on the website have a shade finder quiz, 3 clicks to help you find the shade that you're kind of looking for. But all 6 shades create 6 different finishes that melt into every skin tone. So the lightest one, opalescence, is a very sheer opulent color, and it does not go ashy on darker skin tone. It looks stunning. And whereas our darkest, which is the deep gold, which I'm going to show you right now, especially as we're heading into summer, just taking like a nice little amount like that.
Yep.
This, like, so you see how the peach kind of on our skin tones, it gave me like a tiny kiss of color, even me out. I like to call it like when you're skin perfecting. So you can use these shades to either skin perfect your natural tone, be sheer and opulent. You can bump it up with a kiss of color by going 1 shade higher than your skin tone, or you can create an instantaneous tan. And so this is the deep gold, which especially as we're edging into summer, becomes very popular because look at that.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, instant.
That's amazing. Instant.
And this shade on women of color is like what the peach did to us. It's like a skin perfector for more of like a natural tone. So that's what's so cool. And it's also multi-purpose because it works on your face. You can use it as a primer. You can mix it into your foundation. You can have your makeup done and tap it. And then, of course, body, chest, and then especially the legs. It's referred to as liquid pantyhose. Yes. And that's that. And we offer it in a couple different sizes. We have our large 3.4. Sorry, the tube's been a little worked over. And then we have our 1 ounce. This retails for $45. This retails for $18. I also have little kits. This is the darker shade. So it's the 3 darker shades of the 1 ounces. That retails for $41. Which is a huge discount. And then, a couple years into it, I did a job with them all after the Gleam had been developed down. I never really needed a setting spray because it is transfer resistant, and if it does happen to transfer, you can easily wipe it off with a baby wipe. It doesn't stain. But when I went to Florida to do this job with them, I was like, oh, okay, because it is a moisturizer. When you hit it with the humidity, it's like, okay. So I was like, I need a setting spray. And that's how I developed this guy. And I don't like the wet setting sprays. I feel like they can kind of mess with texture of your finished, beautiful makeup. And I wanted it to be like a dry finish. I wanted it to feel dry, the whole idea, yeah, moist, but I needed it to really set a body makeup, especially for Dancing with the Stars, like where you're, rubbing all over people and all of this. So I ended up coming up with this guy, and it's a super fine mist. It's called Super Light Long Lasting Setting Spray because it's really literally just that. And, you just want to apply it in a back and forth motion. You barely feel this thing going on. It's like, it's there because it's like there is a light lavender smell. And for the face, I just do kind of a couple swipes like that. Unless I know it's going to be drenching humidity, then I'll do a couple more. For the body, give yourself a couple extra because it's your body and you're sitting and you're rubbing and you're doing stuff like that. So this went viral. It's hard to keep in stock. So I definitely get your hands on this, $40. And then I do have these beautiful loose, where are they? Of course, I don't have it out. Oh, beautiful loose shimmering powders. I kind of created these just to be either a topper on top of the Gleam Face and Body Radiance, or to be used by itself all over either body or face, bronzer, highlighter, whatever. All of my products are vegan, cruelty free, and they're all developed. I didn't walk into a Color Me Mine and go, yes, I'll take that. I really worked on these for over a year with the lab to make sure that they were of like the utmost quality, and just, of course, vegan and cruelty free too. And then I ended up developing, last but not least, these gorgeous, yummy brushes, which are also vegan. Oh, they're so good. They're very soft. Even though they're synthetic, they really, truly feel like natural hair. Because they are synthetic, you can use them. They're all as usual, because I'm a pro. I make everything multi-purpose. So you can use these with liquids, creams, powders, all of them. And they're affordable. My most expensive one is $19.99. And
that's great.
Yeah. And then on the site, you can even get bundles for even cheaper. And then I developed this yummy soap, which has rose quartz crystals in it. Smells divine. And that is the line. It's the creams, the loose powder, the brushes, the setting spray, and the soap.
Well, I love it because it really is about inclusivity, because your products really work for everyone. And that's awesome, because I think that's just, who doesn't want to have skin that looks,
And I didn't jump on the bandwagon. It was always multicultural, always.
Yeah.
As a makeup artist, I love doing women of color's makeup. Of color makeup. I love, 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 love dark pigmented skin. Probably because the grass is always greener on the other side, and whatever's, kind of different from you. It's just, I just love that. So it was very important for me to make sure from the beginning that it was, multicultural. And I was fortunate enough at the time of development, as we were finalizing the shades, to be working with Brandy Norwood, and that deep gold was literally developed for her. And all the pro dancers that wanted to be as dark as her.
That's amazing. I love that. Okay. So you've moved. So you
yes.
moved.
So
tell us about that.
COVID happened, and I was set to be on QVC UK April 2020, as well as Shop HQ. So I had just repackaged my entire product line, as well as went in and ordered a ton of inventory for the success that was supposed to come. QVC UK was going to be huge because I was replacing somebody, and the producers were so excited. And so I was booked for the whole year of 2020. Well, of course, my launch date of new packaging and the new SKUs was March 15th, 2020. So, between just everything, I did the first set of shows, and thank God we sold out, but nobody was interested in makeup at that moment. So that had to be put on the back burner, which was like a huge upset for a small company like mine. And, thank God for the PPPs. And then I did the SBA, but honestly, I had to get out of California. I was also I realized COVID at the end of the day ended up being a big blessing for myself and my family, because I realized that I was so burnt out on my business. I had been not Gleam, not Melanie Mills Hollywood, but being a working Hollywood makeup artist. So on top of doing the line, traveling the world with the line, and everything else that goes along with that, which is a full-time job, I was also still working, 15, 17, 18-hour days, like 70, 80-hour weeks. And I was finding myself to be bitter at the end there. Like I love makeup, but it's like that kind of grind. 25 years I did that in the business. So I realized, and we wanted to move, but we always were looking at places kind of close that I could still fly in for work, and we just said, let's do it. We sold the house in California, paid off all the debt that had accumulated from, everything that went, with, Melanie Mills Hollywood. And we decided to go to Nashville. I've always been kind of witchy, I guess, in a Wiccan sense, if you want to say. I've always been very interested in meditation, crystals, sage wands, simple, small, kind of fun spells and rituals. And that all got lost with me working as much as I did. And so with COVID, I was called to like what I call just like, just all of that. And I got all my crystals out and charged them and cleansed them and got a singing bowl and just started really getting into it daily and really just praying, basically, what do I do? What should I do? Guide me. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Nashville. We had never been here. And we flew out to check it out and we're like, let's do it. Friends, family, did not know anybody here. Our friends and family, everybody else was like, what? People could not get over it. Plus all of my jobs that were going got all canceled too. So I was just kind of like, fresh start, let's do it. And we came out here. We are so happy. I've been so blessed that my daughter was finalizing high school online. So she came with us. She loves it. My daughter and I are very close, but you can imagine with the amount of work that I did that I wasn't around a lot. So this was my opportunity to kind of catch up on all of that. Believe me, I still did. I'm super mom. I still did as much and all that I could.
Of course, right.
But so it's been a great year of reconnecting with the family and just ourselves and self-care and just taking a big fat breath. And then as I was getting back into figuring out what to do here, and I moved here too, because it's an industry. It's a big industry. There's lots of musicians, there's lots of shows. And I thought this will be a great place to do makeup in. But I realized one day when I needed some stuff, I needed to go get some pro makeup stuff, that there was no pro makeup store in Nashville. I couldn't believe it. And so honestly, within about a week, it was like, let's do a shop, and it's happening. So we'll be launching, I hope in August. It could be September. Things keep kind of getting snafu'd with construction.
That's amazing. Congrats.
Yeah. So it's called the Makeup Altar. It's going to be here in East Nashville, 5 Points.
Hey.
The website is going to be live in about 2 weeks. It's called the makeupaltar.com. And it's going to be a brick and mortar, but I will sell everything online as well. I'll of course have my own product line there, but other pro makeup brands but it's not going to be just for pros. Yes, it's going to be pro savvy, but regular people can come in off the street and be totally taken care of too. We'll do makeup services. And then I decided to blend my love of, meditation and crystals and sage wands. And so that'll all be there too.
Oh my God. So this is big news. Feel like
I'm excited.
Yeah, we should have led with that. That's like a really exciting story. So we'll have to tell people about that. I'm actually going to be driving through Nashville in early July. So I'll have to pop by.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It won't necessarily be open, but we should definitely meet up for a cocktail or something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've got to drive across the country. I'm stopping in Austin to see my daughter. So yeah, it's a whole thing, but it's good. So, okay. So this is, I was going to ask you what's next, but you kind of answered it, because this is going to be busy for you. You're just going to keep you busy for a while. Okay. But what about product wise? Are there any other products you're cooking up, or are you just?
I have to take things slow, to be very, very, very honest. I refuse to take any more loans or put any more of my personal money into it, because I've done that.
Yeah, I hear you.
just celebrated 11 years. And, but what I am getting ready to launch are 7 new makeup brushes. They have been held up because of course, everything happening in China,
Yes.
but they are coming soon. So stay tuned for these. These are what I call like more of the precision tools, lip, liner, eyebrow, mascara. And I have been in so much product development. Like I used to have the best lip gloss and it sold out.
Yeah.
And the problem, as a small business, it's, the minimums of
Minimums kill
packaging.
you for sure.
So I hope to bring my glosses back. This is even like new packaging that it would come in. I even went as far as, developing and getting, lipstick almost ready. And I have a lot of great stuff in the works, but we shall just kind of see how things go. I will also, my ego, honestly, the makeup business is intense because you got to constantly have something new, something fresh, and honestly, things were getting a little rough in even 2018 because the makeup world was getting so saturated with all these brands, all these influencers coming out with their brands. And then the big brands doing these like monthly drops of something new. It wasn't even just seasonal anymore. Now we've gotten back to that. The big brands have gotten back to like the seasonal drops versus the monthly drops, and, so it was getting like overwhelming. So the thing is like, ego wise, you want to catch up and go and be there, but it takes a lot of money to do that. And like I said, I had to take a big kickback. And if these are the products that stick around, because at this stage they really are iconic, they've been relied upon by the pro community for 11 years now. And if this is what's there, I'm fine with it, honestly. And we'll see. We will see.
I totally respect that. I mean, look, it's hard as a small business owner to constantly be putting money in, right? And not getting money out. So there is a point where you do have to reevaluate that and have your life make sense. And you've been doing it for a long time. So that's amazing. And you have great.
And I'm proud of what I've done. I have won a bunch of Emmys as well. And it's like,
that's awesome.
I've done all that and it's so awesome. And now my goal is to live life versus work to live.
Oh my God.
Or work. I mean, now it's live to live versus, live to work.
Yes. I am here. I'm with you. That sounds excellent. And look, I'm so glad we could chat. I loved hearing all about, I had no idea of your how you got started. It's just fascinating. It's a great story.
Thank you.
I really wish you all the best with your new business. It's your new store. That sounds awesome. So let's stay in touch and hopefully I'll see you in person one of these days.
I hope so. I really do. Yeah, please make sure to connect. Let me know in advance before you come so we can try to do something. And then I can also, hit me up so I can let you know some good things that you have to do out here. But yeah, you guys can find me over on Gleam _ Melanie Mills Hollywood, which is my brand Insta account. And then I have Melanie Mills MUA, which is a little bit more of like my personal account. And then I have the Makeup Altar, that's ALTAR Nashville, which is kind of teasing and just getting ready for the big launch.
Awesome. Well, that's amazing. And I'm sure that if anyone has questions, you can hit up Melanie. I'm sure she'll love to answer anything, or hit up me and I can direct you to the right place. And thank you for joining, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you so much. Thank